JJK has had a lot of great writing moments, and I feel like I haven't shined a light on them well enough. In this video, I'll be doing just that. Character development was something that JJK got right a couple of times. I'll start with backstories. A good backstory will explain the root of specific character parts in the present, like personality, values, goal, etc. My favorite has to be Hiromi Higuruma's from the Culling Game arc. He worked as a criminal lawyer, but the disappointed faces of his clients every time he failed chipped away at his resolve. In his final case before his turning point, he won the first trial for his client, who he actually believed was innocent. When he lost the second trial, he lost faith in the justice system and killed the judge and prosecutor who opposed him. His backstory shaped his current values when he met Yuji. He wanted to preserve the Culling Game to see how the rules played out. He no longer cared about protecting the weak, and he gained a nihilistic view of life, shown in chapter 166. His backstory excellently explained why he had his set of values when Yuji first met him. Another great backstory belongs to the duo of Maki and Mai. Maki couldn't see cursed spirits as a child, which explained why she was brave. Meanwhile, Mai could, which explained why she was cowardly. Because they were both in a sorcerer clan, and Maki had no cursed energy, the zenin clan didn't respect her, and she sought to improve her physical abilities. This negative relationship explains why she hates her clan in the present, and vice versa. Mai didn't want to be a sorcerer, probably because of her fear of curses, but she was forced to become one due to Maki rebelling. This, along with the fact that her sister was leaving her behind, is why Mai resented her at the start of the story. Why couldn't Mai just improve with Maki? That could be answered by the cowardice that started when she could see curses as a kid. From this backstory, we understand why Maki is brave, why she's physically powerful, why she hates her clan, and we understand why Mai hated Maki. Mechamaru is solid. He was born with a frail body, and he understandably wanted a normal body. This explains his resentment towards Panda, who could move around while he was forced to live through a puppet. His horrible body explains why he values a normal one so much. This value is tested with Mahito, and strengthened by his decision to make a binding vow with an enemy to get a normal body. He was willing to sacrifice the trust of his friends to accomplish his goal. Character arcs are another part of character development that JJK has done well. A good character arc has a starting belief, an ending belief, and a believable event that transitions the character from belief 1 to belief 2. Additionally, the change in belief should result in a change in action. Junpei had the best arc in season 1. Multiple events led to his first belief, which is that people have no hearts. There was the bullying, the apathy from the teachers, and the murder of his mom, which was orchestrated by Mahito. After adopting his first belief, he felt no remorse killing his bullies and even fighting his friend, Yuji. The event that moved him to his second belief, humans have hearts, was Yuji's empathy towards him in their fight, which revealed that the humans have no hearts mantra was a way for Junpei to cope with the tragedies in his life. Junpei changed by wanting to side with Yuji. Yuji is the catalyst for another great arc, Higuruma. Because of his backstory, the lawyer had a nihilistic worldview and didn't care about protecting the weak. His pivotal event was seeing Yuji take the blame for Shibuya, even though it was Sukuna's fault. This event caused him to desire to protect the weak again. He also had his faith in the law restored, promising to turn himself in for killing the judge and prosecutor from his backstory. Before the change, he was willing to kill Yuji to continue the Culling Game. After the change, he gave Yuji his points, promised to turn himself in, and eventually worked with Yuji against Sukuna. This is a full circle arc. Another full circle arc belongs to Kamo. Kamo believed that he should serve his clan. When he got kicked from the clan, he looked to reconcile with his mother, but she had a family. Now, having nowhere to belong, he believed that he should burn his life away for his friends. Eventually, he believes that he should live for his new family. He changed by refusing to fight anymore. Mai had a brief but well-written arc. She hated Maki because she left her behind, but in her arc, she went from believing that Maki should have stayed back with her to believing that Maki should go and be great. Her change in action is shown when she sacrifices her life to give Maki a power-up. There were a couple great themes in season 1. A good theme has a pro-theme, an anti-theme, representatives for both, and an externalization of the pro-theme in the climax. The first great theme was in Nobara's first mission. When a boy got taken hostage, Nobara was initially the anti-theme, which was prioritize your own safety even at the cost of others. But after deliberation, she switched to the pro-theme, which was prioritize the safety of others even at the cost of yours. This was externalized by her surrendering, and she's rewarded for her decision, with Yuji coming to assist her, leading to everyone living. The next great theme was in the fearsome womb, when Yuji and Megumi were arguing about what to do with the delinquent. Yuji wanted to bring back the son's corpse to the mom, but Megumi didn't want to. Yuji's reasoning was to satisfy the mom, while Megumi's reasoning was that the kid isn't worth saving because he was a terrible person. The pro-theme was save everyone equally, and represented by Yuji. The anti-theme was save people based on standards, and represented by Megumi. They had a great argument, and in the climax, Megumi revealed that he wasn't able to retrieve the body, but he grabbed the delinquent's name tag to return to the mother. This is the externalization of the theme, save everyone equally. The next great theme was in the Versus Mahito arc. The anti-theme was people don't have hearts, represented by Junpei. The pro-theme was people have hearts, represented by Yuji. In the climax of the fight, Yuji externalizes the theme. He proves people have hearts by taking Junpei's attack and hearing him out rather than fighting. The last great theme was at the end of season 1. The anti-theme is you need to be selfless, represented by Megumi. The pro-theme is you need to be selfish to bring out your best, represented by Gojo. Megumi had several moments of selflessness throughout the story. In a flashback, Gojo had a conversation with Megumi to tell him that he needs to start being selfish if he wishes to be as strong as him. In the present, Megumi externalizes the pro-theme by being selfish and being rewarded with a domain expansion, which allows him to win the fight. Curse Techniques is one of the best magic systems that has ever graced anime and manga. Starting with individual abilities, there's great creativity shown at times. Megumi, Gojo, Nanami, Awasaka, Reggie, and Uro all have great ideas for abilities. Yuji, Megumi, Yuta, Todo, Chozo, Reggie, Uro, and Kashimo all have great execution and application of their abilities. For Kashimo, I specifically mean his electric aura manipulation without his technique. Moving deeper into the system, the idea of reversing the effects of one's initial ability is cool and creative, and displayed pretty well through Gojo's technique. While domains have lost their luster for me, there are still some really creative ones that make the concept look cool. Megumi, Gojo, Higuruma, Kinji, and Yuta all have great domains that go past the sure hit projectile based on their technique. Further intricacies make the system stand out even more. The idea that a sorcerer can remove hand signs and incantations from their technique to make their magic faster, or bring them back to empower them, is cool, but underused. The counters to domain expansion, such as Simple Domain, Domain Amplification, and Falling Blossom Emotion, are all excellent ways of trying to bring in checks and balances. This creative and layered system has resulted in many iconic fights and moments. Anytime Yuji and Todo team up, it's a highlight. Megumi vs Reggie, Yuta's three-way fight, and Kinji vs Kashimo were three of the best fights in the story. Some of them might even enter my top 20 fights of all time. The way Yuji used his two new techniques in his most recent fight against Sukuna was wonderful. I especially like how his shrine relies more on resourcefulness rather than brute force. Yuji using shrine was something that was set up back in season 1, so seeing it finally bear fruit in an epic moment was spectacular. Gojo and Sukuna did some cool things in their fight, and Yuta possessing Gojo's body to create gojuta was magnificent. All the puzzle pieces were set up perfectly. We knew Yuta could copy since JJK 0. We knew Yuta had the potential to surpass Gojo since season 1. We knew Kenjaku could switch bodies in season 2. We knew Sukuna killed Gojo, but his body was retrieved. We knew Yuta and Kenjaku were fighting. They just put all the pieces together to create Mobile Suit Gojuta, and it was phenomenal. I was praying that Gege wouldn't revive Gojo, but Gojuta was better than keeping him dead or simply reviving him. It felt like something that super creative fans would come up with. The last thing I want to talk about is something that I've had a dramatic shift in perspective over: genetic advantages in magic systems. When Yuji was revealed to be genetically related to Sukuna because Sukuna's twin was reincarnated as Yuji's dad, I initially hated it because it felt like a late game plot twist to make Yuji more special, but I actually see it as a great choice. Telemon's video, Nobody Understands Eugenics, is what changed my opinion. He said genetic advantages act as an organic way for a regular bottom-of-the-ladder protagonist to wield cool powers, while also answering the question of why far more people don't have those powers. If training is all that's required, then everyone should have said power, and your lead character feels far less unique. In the context of JJK, this makes perfect sense. In Chapter 1, when Yuji ate the finger, Megumi said that he should die, but there's a 1 in a million chance that Sukuna would incarnate. Why is Yuji so special that he can eat Sukuna's fingers and become a vessel? Because he's related to him. Isn't that a better explanation than he just got lucky? Like I've said in my video on protagonists in action stories are supposed to stand out from the rest, otherwise why are they the protagonist? They need some kind of plot armor that prevents them from dying before the story ends. But genetic advantage is a better justification than luck. As for hard work versus genetics, most great athletes have genetic advantages, so why wouldn't magical battle heroes? Michael Phelps has long arms and a long torso that contribute to him being an elite swimmer. Michael Jordan was tall, had a wide wingspan, and had big hands. Elite footballers like Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Pele, and Mbappe are all very fast. Having a genetic advantage doesn't mean you don't work hard. I feel the same way about Yuji. Hosting Sukuna gave him a lot of advantages, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he mastered Black Flash or Divergent Fist on his own. That doesn't change the fact that he's creative with his blood manipulation and shrine and has a high battle IQ. A while ago, I said MHA and BC have the skin of the big three, but JJK and KNY have the soul of the big three. What I meant was that the first two had similarities in characters and setting. Deku and Asta are both underdogs with talented rivals, like Naruto and Sasuke, treating exams and sports festival or license exam. Ninja and Shinigami operated similarly to heroes and magic knights. Gote 13, Magic Knight squads. There were a lot of surface level similarities, but they felt like they were aimed at a younger audience than the big three. Meanwhile, JJK and KNY had the danger and rawness of the big three. JJK had this sense of danger that was very reminiscent of Naruto and Bleach, and from the start too. In Naruto's first arc, he and his team almost die due to fighting someone out of their league. In Bleach's first chapter, Ichigo has to basically die to awaken his powers. In JJK's first season, the heroes take a mission that spirals out of control and ends with the protagonist dying. Many of the fights had tension. They had the feeling that one of the characters could either die or get severely injured. They were bloody, and it didn't feel like the heroes could escape with a cop-out power-up. That danger remains today, and you could argue that it went too far. Characters die in JJK, and I respect that decision to kill characters. When other battle manga refuse to kill characters, it makes the atmosphere feel safer than it should be, especially when the battles are supposed to be life or death. In conclusion, JJK had moments where it showed excellent character development and theme writing. It had a top-tier magic system, and it has a sense of danger that a Fate of the World battle manga should have. I once said that JJK had nothing to fall from, but I disagree now. It had peaks before the valleys.